Hello, gentlemen. We will be talking today about Act 3, Scene 4. Hopefully you have watched the video that I posted for you. I think it gives you a good idea of how how these murders are now affecting Macbeth. Okay, so we're at the banquet scene here where Macbeth sees the ghost of Banquo, and it's important to remember, and as you saw in the video, that he's the only one, of course, who sees this ghost. Okay, when everybody arrives, of course, he's trying to hold it together and just telling them to sit down according to their own degrees. Just they all know where to sit, basically, is what that's saying. More, we're here to mingle with you, and we're your humble host. Isn't that ironic? He's certainly not humble. And Lady Macbeth is just not here yet, but I know she'll arrive soon. She keeps her state, but in time she'll get here. And she arrives. All right, then they more of the same. Let's just have a drink and everybody be large in mirth. Have a great time. Okay. The murderer at this point comes to the door, and Macbeth, kind of as he's walking around, says to him, "There's blood on thy face." Right? Oh, hold on. All right. "'Tis Banquo's then," and then they have a little chat about that, and Macbeth is asking if Banquo has been killed, and of course the murderer says yes, he has, but there's one problem, and that is that Fleance has escaped. And so now we can remember the prophecy which said that I was about to say Beowulf. I'm doing that with my other class. The prophecy that says that Banquo will father a line of kings. He won't be a king. So now you understand how come he can't be the king, because he is dead. But he will father a line of kings. So that would mean that Fleance, if he escaped, now that prophecy can come true. This totally wrecks Macbeth's state, as he then says, "Then comes my fit again." And so this fit here is, of course, a fit of all kinds. In the video, you saw a pretty grotesque, kind of version of that. The physical manifestation of the guilt is wearing on Macbeth. He used to be perfect, whole as a marble, founded. Look at all that diction. But now he is cabined, cribbed, and confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. Okay. So, this is that idea that, we have a man who is now exactly what it says, confined, meaning he has caused his own downfall. Okay. All right. Okay. Down here you have another reference to Fleance. After the murderer assures him that Banquo's dead. Macbeth says thanks, but then he realizes, oh, the worm that has fled hath nature that in time will venom breed, which means eventually he will come back to, take the throne, if you will. But for now, he has no teeth for the present. So this is Macbeth trying to convince himself that for now he's safe. All right. Okay. Let's keep going. All right. Lady Macbeth here is kind of saying, "Hey, we're over here, my royal lord. You're not paying attention." And then the ghost enters. Macbeth, I'm sorry, and sits in Macbeth's place. So that's something to remember, that if the ghost is sitting in Macbeth's place, then he's going to think that there are no places for him to sit. So the video that you watched may not have made that very clear, but I think it did. But anyway, Lennox says, "Oh, why don't you come sit down?" And he basically doesn't even acknowledge that and talks about Banquo. It's like, "Oh, well, it would be so great if Banquo were here." And maybe he's just, wow, he's really unkind of him not to be here. So it's kind of funny in a way that the way he's trying to act, and we know that he's about to go crazy. Okay, and then he's asked again, "Aren't you going to grace us with your company?" And Macbeth says, "Oh, I can't, because the table is full." All right, so that's because he sees the ghost in where he would be seated. And they try to tell him, "No, there's no one there." And of course, then he starts freaking out. "So, which of you have done this?" "What, my good lord?" "Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me." Okay, so this is when he sees the ghost. All right. And in some versions, the ghost is not it's an empty stool. In other versions, there's actually a character who sits there, and when he turns, then his face is all bloody. So it just depends on the director how they direct that. All right, here comes Lady Macbeth to the rescue, and she's trying really hard to make excuses for why this is happening. When she says, "Oh, sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary. Oh, he'll be fine in a moment. He'll again be well. So don't pay attention to him. Don't note him, because that will extend his passion, and you will, So just don't regard him. All right. And then of course she turns to him, and here it comes again. This idea of, "Are you a man?" All right. Remember earlier, she told him that he would be so much more the man if he were to go carry through with the murder of Duncan. So again, this is her bringing that same idea up. And then he tries to say, "Of course I am. And I'm the bold one if I can look on a ghost. Hey." And then we have some repetition down here of a prior reference to like hallucinations and things. You just can't handle this. She says, "This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan." If you remember back in Act 2, Scene 2, line 53 and 54. I'll go back there right now and read that for you. Let me get there. She said, "The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures." So that was right before. That was right after he killed Duncan, and she's trying to tell him. Or wait. Yeah, that's right. And she's trying to tell him, get over this. All right. Here again, you are imagining this. So would you please stop with all these flaws and starts? And then she really gets kind of mocks him again. Sorry, I pushed some button, I don't know. She mocks him again and tells him that, this would be okay if you were sitting around a fire listening to somebody tell a spooky story. What is wrong with you? All right. You're just looking at a stool. Okay. Look it on a stool. Sorry. And then if he's still freaking out, it keeps freaking out. It goes on for a while, as you know, from the video. Quite unmanned in folly. Again, the manhood thing. And he's like, I promise you he was here. And she is losing it because now, of course, he has lost it, and she realizes they're in serious trouble here. This part here, blood hath been shed ere now in the olden time, ere humane statute purged the gentle will, and murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. And it used to be that when murders occurred, that the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again. So this is what he's referencing in terms of Banquo's ghost rising again instead of staying in the grave. So Lady Macbeth tries again to pull him out of this, saying your noble friends are looking at you. And he tries really hard to come back to the moment. Oh, just forget what just happened, guys. It's good. I was don't muse at me. Okay. I have a strange infirmity, so he's playing off of what Lady Macbeth has said, which is nothing to those that know me. Now you would think that these people know him, and they would have known this, so it's kind of ironic. And so he's trying to say, oh, let's just all have a drink. Woohoo! All right. And they all drink, and he says, oh, let's drink to Banquo. Yeah, I sure wish he was here. I sure do miss him. And he sees the ghost again, more freaking out. Avaunt, quit my sight. Okay. And Lady Macbeth echoes the same idea here with it's just a thing of custom. It just spoils the pleasure of the time. Yeah, no kidding. Then in this part, he basically is just saying, this ghost could be anything else, and even a bear, even a rhinoceros, and I'd be fine. But it's not that. It's the actual ghost of Banquo. So I'd be okay if the ghost was something other than what it is. It leaves, and so it's gone. Oops, sorry. So it's gone. So I'm a man again. Here it comes again. If you look back, I think it's Act 1, Scene 7. Yeah. And that's the line I mentioned a minute ago or I don't know if I did, but anyway, no, I didn't. It says, yeah, that's what I said a minute ago. When you durst do it, then you were a man, and to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. So I'm a man again, yes. And of course, at this point, things have gone completely awry. You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting, with most admired disorder. He then speaks to everyone at this point and says, how can you keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear? Doesn't this shake you? And of course, he's just realizing, I suppose, that he's the only one that sees the ghost. Ross says, what sights, my lord? And at this point, Lady Macbeth says, y'all got to get out of here. Don't talk to him. Don't question him. He grows worse and worse if you question him. And please leave in order of your going. Go. Get out. Macbeth then ends the scene with some pretty important lines here. It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by magpies and choughs and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. So here, that blood will have blood. Same scene, Act 1, Scene 7. He had said, in these cases we still have judgment here. I'm sorry. But that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. My apologies for my throat. So this is the idea that you will have to pay for what you've done. All right. And again, we have another reference to the idea that the nature itself is at odds with this. They can't tell which is which, so it's daytime, but it looks dark. I mean, it's not. What is the night? I'm sorry. What is the night? Almost at odds with morning. So again, you can't tell if it's night or day. All right. Some important details now come into the scene where Macbeth says, "Oh, did you realize Macbeth was not here?" And Lady Macbeth says, "Oh, yeah. Well, did you ask him to come? Did you send for him?" And Macbeth says, "Yes, I did. But I have spies now." Servants here means spies that I have put in everyone's home or castle, and they are acting like servants, so that I can find out the scoop on what's going on. So I have a spy in Macduff's house, which means he has a feeling that Macduff might know something. And at this point, he then says, "So I am in blood, stepped in so far, should I wade no more? Returning were as tedious as go over." So here, you have the idea that I can't go back. So I might as well just go forward, do more. So I'll just do more evil. And in order to do that evil, I'm going to go see the Weird Sisters to find out if they can help me out. The Weird Sisters being the witches. All right. We have the return of the sleeplessness motif. She says, "Oh, you just need some sleep." And of course, if you go back to when he murdered Duncan, he said, "Macbeth hath murdered sleep." So likely he has not been sleeping. That's true, but it's now taking its toll on him. Come, will to sleep. Yeah, they probably won't be able to sleep for sure now. And we are but young indeed. So this evil has just begun. All right, that's it. Sorry, my throat's kind of weird. Have a great day.